Police Minister Bheki Cele says lockdown crime figures remain low, but he's noted a slight increase in some categories, including the illegal trading of cigarettes and booze. He briefed the media on lockdown law enforcement a short while ago. Let's get the details now from our political editor, Vuyo Mvoko. He joins us live from the newsroom. So, Vuyo, 611 SAPS members have tested positive for COVID-19 to date. How does this actually impact on law enforcement?
Well, Shahan, the minister was, of course, troubled by these numbers, saying they could not have come at a worse time given the responsibility that police have during this particular period. And the numbers, of course, that he revealed do attest to that, saying over this, during level 5, there were about more than 118,000 people were arrested. And it said during level 4, and we're only a couple of weeks into level 4, he says that number has the ability to ensure that law enforcement people do adhere to the regulations and the rules, and they will continue to do so. But of course, he did go some way in allaying the fears among the people of South Africa, saying they mustn't worry, they must keep on reporting the crime, and the police will be there to ensure that regulations are enforced, but also to help people who may have problems of one sort or the other. Take a listen to what he has to say around the measures that have been put in place to ensure that law enforcement doesn't suffer because some police officers have actually been infected.
Our communities have been nervous about police members testing positive and stations being shut down. The truth is, as soon as SAPS member or PSA employee from any police station or any SAPS building tests positive, the Department of Health is brought on board. Occupants of the specific building are screened and tested. The building or facility must be vacated immediately for decontamination and can only be occupied after a period of 12 to 48 hours after the process.
And of course, there's been an increase in contraband liquor and cigarette sales. No surprise here.
No surprise there, indeed. I mean, we all know that this problem has been with us for some time during this lockdown period. As soon as people got to know that, liquor and cigarette sales were going to be affected, then the market for, the sale of cigarettes and alcohol that is not legal, we started seeing a lot of people selling their wares against the rules, it must be emphasized. The minister saying that they are going to stop at nothing in ensuring that these people are in fact prosecuted because they are breaking the law. So he was emphatic about that and saying the police are not about to let up. But at the same time, he did, of course, say this is a problem that has been with this country for a very long time. He went way back to 2010 during the FIFA World Cup, saying this is a problem that they were seized with. The industry came forward to say this is a sketch that they needed to fight, and it hasn't really disappeared. Take a listen to what he had to say around that particular point.
Cigarettes illicit trading did not start during COVID-19 activities. It has been the problem of South Africans all the time, both the industry and the police. I remember even 2010, when I was doing the other job as the police, we did have several meetings with the industry trying to fight the illicit trade of cigarette. So it should not come as if the illicit of cigarette has come out because there is COVID-19.
And then, of course, the minister responding to the KHOSA judgment. He, of course, died after an altercation with law enforcement authorities. Tell us more about that.
Indeed. The expectation is that the police and the army should actually abide by the ruling of the court, which was scathing around the culture that seems to have emerged, where police really run roughshod over the interests and human rights of ordinary people during this period. Well, Bheki Cele says they are going to abide by the court decision by and large. However, he says there's one or two issues that they have problems with, and for that reason they are going to appeal the judgment on those couple of matters. He wouldn't tell us what those issues were or around what parts of the judgments they actually were. But of course also insisting that police do respect a human rights culture, but also saying that the police's political principles, people like him and all those who serve in the executive, that would include, I would imagine, the Minister of Defense, do adhere to a human rights culture. They have a proud history and record of struggling to ensure that human rights are in fact respected. So nothing is going to change, but at the same time they are going to ensure that they do enforce the law within, of course, the constitutional and legal boundaries. Take a listen to what the minister had to say.
Almost everything that was said by the judge will be complying with some one or two areas that as a South African police we thought looking at them they'll have to be appealed. We don't think that we are very much keen on compliance on that one. We believe that we have a legal alternative of dealing with those matters. Unfortunately, because it's already in the legal system, we have appealed on it, so we believe that we can't talk much about it.
Vuyo, I've run out of time, but very quickly explain to me what the minister said about gender-based violence and what we're seeing at police stations compared to the calls that people or NGOs and help centers are receiving around this.
Well, he insists that the police are seized with the matter and they're going out of their way to ensure that gender-based violence is dealt with, reported, and police move with speed in trying to resolve or get those cases reported. However, he says the numbers aren't quite as they have been reported. Now, we recall that over the past week, there are people who have said that the numbers have gone up to like 500 times. He says that, in fact, isn't the case. What is happening is the way things are reported, or precisely because this matter is receiving police's utmost attention, it looks as though there has been a rise in actual numbers when in fact it's reporting, and he reckons there is nothing untowards. The numbers haven't spiked to unprecedented levels, and indeed the police remain seized with the matter and they continue to do the best that they can do, but it is not, the situation is not as alarming as it is being made out to be.
All right, we can leave it right there. Our political editor, Vuyo Mvoko, is in our Hyde Park office.